The big question is, do airlines have a robust maintenance schedule, and who are those responsible for ensuring airworthiness?
The aircraft maintenance engineer is the guy that fixes the aeroplanes. He ensures the aircraft is kept in airworthy condition that is safe for the public to fly. Aircraft is built with various safety levels. Initially in the design, it's built with safety levels, and thereafter is maintained to certain standards as prescribed by the designer. And that is laid out in the maintenance program for the aircraft. Maintenance manual we use to maintain. So the aircraft is maintained to that standard. And this is done by appropriately qualified and licensed engineers, licensed by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, to do those tasks for which they are authorized to do. You run the aircraft through a series of checks, what we call operational checks. And the aircraft will reveal itself if there are problems. By way of warnings in the cockpit, lights, red lights, caution lights, it will tell you what is wrong with the aircraft. Our inspection involves external inspections, looking at the tires, the body of the aircraft, to check for leakages, check for unusual damage. Once you are satisfied with that, you do the internal operational checks in the cockpit. You do that. These same checks are also repeated by the pilots before they fly. So we have various levels of safety. If something is wrong, the lights will come on. The warning lights will come, just like you have in your cars. The warning light will come. But the difference in aviation, you have a checklist. You have a standard operating procedure. The pilot must subject that aircraft for the rest of the flight to either land or continue its flight if it is safe to do so. It's trained to make that determination. The challenges are there. Training. We have not been investing in training as we used to. There are really a dearth of qualified engineers to look at the modern aircraft that are flying our airspace. It's an area that we need to do a lot more. Right now we have engineers we can vouch for, but they might not be in the correct number. We might not have enough, qualified in the various types of aircraft. But we need to do retraining and retraining. You need to retrain. Even engineers, even if you are doing the job, every 2 years you are required to do a retraining, a recurrent training. We need to keep that up. Training and training is the key to safety.
For an aircraft engineer, principally used to solve problem, clear snacks where there are issues or wherever the pilot reports any discrepancies in his operating systems. Yeah, first it's the pilot that reports whether his plane is faulty or not. Probably during the period of flying, he observes some discrepancies in his instruments, in his flying apparatus. He notes them down. When he gets down, he reports to the engineer that during flying, this is what I experienced and all of that. And from there, we go into troubleshooting to ascertain the actual problem of the aircraft. And the moment that is taken care of, we certify the airplane safe and we release it to service. I need to get the engineer involved in policy making, because when you allow politicians to make rules for you with respect to engineering, they just model up the whole issues and oftentimes will come in and start all over again. So when they involve the engineers in the rule making, oftentimes, I think it will go a long way. It will does help.
The many years of training to become an experienced inspector also impact on safety levels.
For you to have an airworthiness surveyor, for example, you must have a degree. You must have an aircraft maintenance license. We're looking at 15 years experience on type, total, with other training. So it takes a long time for them to get qualified. So same with the pilot, the flight up inspectors, Same with the cabin crew inspectors, same with the ground ops inspectors. They must have a license. You know, there are conditions attached to them. Now, what we're also saying is, yes, we have young graduates outside there. We can bring them in. We can send them to the industry. We can give them all the training, the type training. It takes a long time to qualify them. However, experience is the best teacher. We want to go out now as an inspector. You want to inspect people outside. You have to be more qualified than them. You have to be more experienced or experienced as them. You're able to say, right, you're not doing this well or you're not doing this right. It's pilots too. They need to have type ratings. They need to have a lot of hours, on type. In our own case, what makes that more sensitive, it affects safety. Because you definitely need inspectors who knows what they're doing, who are properly trained to make sure, to ensure safety. So if you go on the ramp now, you will see ramp inspection. We're on top of it. We're out there. We're watching every move. Apart from our scheduled inspection that we do, it's a highly regulated industry. The regulation backs us up to do it. And the airline is a very serious business. You have to be serious. You have to be able to cope with all the regulations and the demand. Costs is not an issue with the operators.
When we return after the break, the Federal Ministry of Aviation says it's taking the issue of unremitted funds for foreign airlines more seriously.